The drama surrounding the UFC's newest knockout sensation didn't begin under bright lights or roaring crowds. It didn't start with viral clips or promotional hype. It began quietly, far from the Octagon, in a place where survival mattered more than spotlight, and discipline mattered more than dreams. Before the name Ateba Gautier ever echoed through arenas, before commentators raised their voices in disbelief, before opponents felt that sudden, helpless collapse of certainty, there was simply a young man learning how unforgiving the world could be. In a sport where power exists in every division, true fear is rare. Knockouts happen every weekend. Prospects arrive every year carrying highlight reels and confidence heavy enough to crack under pressure. Fans grow numb to promises of dominance. But once in a while, someone emerges who feels different. Not louder, not flashier, just heavier. Someone whose presence shifts the energy in the room before the first punch is thrown. Someone who doesn't need to announce danger because danger arrives with them. Ateba Gautier is that kind of presence. He doesn't bark at opponents during press conferences. He doesn't manufacture rivalries or chase attention online. He walks to the cage calm, almost detached, as if violence is not an emotional act but a calculated responsibility. When the door closes behind him, the performance speaks. And what it says is simple, brutal, and unmistakable. This is not the story of hype. This is the story of control, of patience forged in struggle, of a man who learned early that nothing would be given to him, and who decided, quietly and methodically, to take everything himself. Ateba Gautier was born in Douala, Cameroon, a city alive with movement, ambition, and hardship. Life there did not slow down for comfort. It demanded resilience. Families worked hard, often with little margin for error, and futures were built on persistence rather than promise. In Gautier's household, that lesson was constant. His mother worked tirelessly to keep the family stable, and she believed deeply in structure, discipline, and education. She didn't see fighting as a path. She saw knowledge as protection. She pushed her son toward a future built with his mind. Ateba listened. Long before gloves or cages entered his life, he focused on school. He took his studies seriously, approaching them with the same intensity that would later define his fighting style. While other young men dreamed of athletic fame, he was immersed in equations, theory, and problem-solving. Eventually, he earned a degree in physics, a rare achievement in the world of professional combat sports. It was proof of his ability to think deeply, to remain patient, and to commit fully to long-term goals. But fighting never fully disappeared from the background. As a teenager, Ateba became drawn to combat sports, not for spectacle, but for structure. There was honesty in fighting. No shortcuts, no hiding. At 17, he began training seriously. At 19, with minimal experience and no major backing, he stepped into his first professional MMA bout. He wasn't ready in the way elite prospects are supposed to be ready. He didn't have world-class coaches or polished systems. What he had was belief, and a willingness to learn the hard way. That belief carried him through his debut, but it also revealed a harsh truth. Raw talent could open doors, but it wouldn't keep them open. If he wanted to compete with the best, if he wanted his future to be more than a local story, he had to leave home. The decision to move to England was not glamorous. It meant separation from family, from familiarity, from everything that had shaped him. It meant starting over in unfamiliar gyms, proving himself again, absorbing losses, corrections, and long days of quiet work. It was lonely. It was humbling. But it was necessary. In those gyms, the transformation began. The raw athlete slowly became a professional. His footwork tightened. His timing sharpened. His defensive habits matured. He learned restraint, positioning, and how to let opponents make mistakes rather than forcing chaos. The power had always been there, but now it was guided, controlled, weaponized with intention. As his early professional career unfolded, destruction followed. Standing 6'4" with an 8'1" reach, Ateba loomed over most middleweights. More importantly, he understood how to use that frame. He managed distance like a veteran, punished entries with calm precision and ended fights violently. Knockouts piled up across regional circuits, spreading his reputation quietly among promoters and matchmakers who recognized something unsettling in his composure. Then came a moment that could have derailed everything. A close decision. Loss early in his career halted his momentum. Many believed he had done enough to win, but the judges disagreed. For the first time, Ateba experienced the helplessness of leaving his fate in someone else's hands. It was a moment that breaks some fighters. It didn't break him. It clarified him. That night, he made a promise to himself. He would never allow judges to decide his destiny again. From that point forward, his approach changed. Every exchange carried purpose. Every fight became about control. Not reckless aggression, but certainty. He wasn't chasing knockouts. He was removing doubt. That mindset carried him to 2024, when he earned his opportunity on Dana White's Contender Series, the UFC's unforgiving proving ground. Contracts are not handed out there for effort. Fighters must dominate. Anything less sends them back into obscurity. His opponent, Ura Nato, was undefeated, confident, and well-rounded. Early in the fight, Nato tested Gautier's grappling, shooting takedowns and forcing clinches, searching for weakness. Gautier stayed composed. He defended intelligently, peeled off grips, and reset without panic. On the feet, he began to assert control, using his jab to dictate distance and punish failed entries with sharp counters. As the minutes passed, Do's confidence faded. In the second round, Gautier timed a perfect combination. A heavy right hand landed clean, and the shift was immediate. He followed to the ground, striking with urgency and discipline until the referee intervened. In that moment, Ateba Gautier didn't just win. He announced himself. His UFC debut arrived in March 2025 against Jose Medina in Mexico City, setting notorious for exposing nerves. Debutants often crumble under the weight of expectation. Gautier didn't flinch. From the opening bell, he was calm, patient, and focused. Medina pushed forward, trying to establish momentum. Gautier managed distance effortlessly, forcing uncomfortable angles. When Medina overcommitted, the response was instant. A brutal knee landed clean, followed by heavy punches. The fight ended in the first round. A performance bonus followed. So did attention. At UFC 318, he faced Robert Valentine, a durable veteran known for surviving chaos. The fight lasted 1 minute and 10 seconds. Gautier established his jab, cut off escape routes, and waited. When the opening appeared, a perfectly placed right hand collapsed Valentine. Controlled ground strikes ended the night. Another highlight. Another warning against track vines at UFC 320. Strategy against him was clear. Move, clinch, slow him down. Vines circled, tied him up, and searched for ways to neutralize the power. Gautier stayed patient. He tracked. He cut angles. When Vines planted his feet, the punishment came instantly. A knockdown, followed by ground strikes, ended the fight in under 2 minutes. Speed did not save his opponent. Strategy did not save his opponent. By January 2026, the test became deeper. Andrei Pulov was disciplined, technical, and composed. He didn't panic. He didn't brawl. He attacked the body, managed distance, and forced Gautier to think. For the first time in the UFC, raw power alone was not enough. Gautier adjusted. He varied strikes, used feints, conserved energy, and fought strategically. Over 3 rounds, he broke Pulov's rhythm, landing cleaner shots and controlling exchanges. When the final bell rang, the decision was unanimous. There was no knockout, no bonus, but there was proof. Proof that Ateba Gautier is not just a destroyer, but a student of the craft. At just 23 years old, his journey already defies expectation. From Cameroon to England, from classrooms to cages, from unknown prospect to rising contender. He left comfort behind for uncertainty, education for violence, safety for risk. What he gained was opportunity, and more importantly, mastery. The middleweight division is watching now. Opponents are studying tape. Contenders are preparing. Bigger tests are coming. And when they arrive, they will not face just a knockout artist. They will face a complete